Hi and welcome back to the probably last episode of my solo playthrough of the Pirate Republic. I'm recording this before the third episode is actually going live. At the time of recording, it's still on early access for patrons and channel members, so I'm not able to factor in any sort of comments that you have made. Again, I'm still considering this to be a learning video anyway, so I'm not super concerned, and I'm also relatively certain I will not going to make it to 60 swagger, which I think it's maybe not a big problem. One thing I did notice during editing, and I believe I also left a comment when I defeated this pirate, basically as a revenge, I put him back into the back, but no, he comes with a combat modifier, which again ultimately means I can use him as a trophy, so I can do declare infamy basically to get myself another elite card. And I just noticed I threw, while I was digging out this guy, I threw away two other ones, which but yeah, I think we can remember I had now basically 3 of these combat modifier tokens, and I believe that's also the maximum that I can have. So let's start the final round by drawing our tidings card for this round. And again, it's a letter of marque for Portugal. And as an event, once this round, upon defeating a pirate hunter, I believe that's a pirate hunter, you may forfeit the non-swagger rewards I see to gain it as a friendly ship for your next turn, discarded at the end of that turn. But of course, yeah, I need to beat those pirate hunters first, and I think they're pretty tough. I think they're at least as strong as one of these treasure fleets and or slave ships, and I think 12 or so is the minimum on those, if I recall that correctly. But again, we are seeing a good ability for us on this tidings card down here. That's really bad. I needed this. Okay, apart from that, I do think that the optional variant works quite well actually in respect to the solo player, so we continue to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we are still at 5 hand size, so this is the hand of cards for Mary Read. And I was wondering actually who the neutral captain was, and yeah, it's Calico Jack. I found his, now you can see it, now I found his cover card. So let's start the round, or rather the action phase for this round. Again, we are starting with Mary Read, and okay, only 1 card again, so we may have some time, so maybe that could work in our favor. For now, I take it. But then, of course, we also have to roll for that. It's really hard to find a space where I can place my dice tower in here. So let's see. Oh, wow, are you kidding me? I think I forgot to reset. So we start with 5, and we are now at 8 movement. Okay, that is huge. And while I was preparing this last episode, I was eyeing with the Fort of Guadeloupe here. It's a fort, not a port, so we don't have the initiative, but we have enough movement. The thing is, they come with 10 broadside, so ideally I also come up with 10 movement, and then I also still need 8 close quarters. I don't need to come up with the 10 movement, so I need half of it, not to just get defeated right away. I think we already have seen this, but let's say if I come up with 8 movement, the remainder of the 2 broadside that are still left are then simply being added to the close quarters here, and then I would have to come up with 10 close quarters in order to, yeah, sack Guadeloupe here. And I'm not 100% sure if I will be able to do that. Maybe. Let's have a look at our cards. We have our elite card here, and the problem with that is it basically reduces broadside or close quarters by 4, but it clearly says enemy ship has -3 and -4. So there might be an errata where Tom is saying no, smooth sailing also counts against ports and forts. Maybe I should check the geek, but I believe I haven't seen that. Maybe I should check actually. Apart from that, we do have a lot of movement and close quarters. So this one down here, for example, that's basically 2 movement plus 3 close quarters right off the bat. So that could be already huge. Here we have 4 close quarters. Here we have 3 close quarters. Here we have 2 close quarters. So in theory, we could make it. But then, of course, there still is this combat modifier on this token, and this could completely break our little strategy here. After some deliberation, again with myself, I decided to risk it. because we have a lot of movement now. I think if not now, let's say next turn, we could lose 1 movement, for example. Then we are down to 4. Then we are not able. And these are 7 swagger, right? I mean, then we are going into the next level. Let's do that. So we're moving 1, 2 spaces over here. So that brings us down to 6, right? Oh, am I still able to make it? Yes, I am. Then we are going to attack this fort. I could now say, let's go for the company combat in this one, but I really want the full 7 swagger on my own, because otherwise I would only get 4. If that would bring me to level 4, then I might consider it, but I believe right now, let's not do that. So we have to draw our tidings card here, so let's see what it is. And awesome! Oh, that is so amazing! It works for us, and it's doubling our close quarter. Again, honestly, I don't think that this is great. I mean, look at all these other combat modifiers. Here we get a 2, here they get a 2, here it's even a 5+. These are also super, super, super swingy. Maybe they need a little bit of rebalancing so that they're not completely devastating your turn. I mean, doubling your close quarter, what's the point now? Still, they have the initiative, so in order not to take any damage, I need to come up with 10 movement points. We still have 6 in our normal movement, so we need to come up with 4 more. So we are playing this card here, that's 3. Then we don't really need an awful lot right now. So then we are going to play this card here. We have to boost it with one of those. So that's now basically 5 movement points. So we even overspent here a little, plus the 3 close quarters, and it's already doubled. So that's already a 6 basically. We need only 1 more now actually. Ooh, which one are we going to play? So in this case, then I will also play the cut them to pieces, and I will simply play it with the watermelon. So we have now 6, which is doubled. So that's 12 close quarter points. So again, first of all, we more or less evaded their shooting with our movement. We did that, and then we are going into the close quarter steps. There were no leftovers, but we came up with 12 close quarters points anyway. So that is that. So this is basically our reward. We are gaining 1 reputation token back. This fort also goes into the pirates' enemies of the Pirate Republic. I believe I forgot to discard it last time, but we did spawn that Pirate Hunter. Another Pirate Hunter would spawn if there would be a second token. And of course, we are placing another cube into this one here. We haven't done it yet. We need 1 more fort in order to be successful with this accomplishment. And we may want to consider that. But yeah, let's also not forget our 7 swagger. I mean, that's why we are all here, right? So that's 39. So we immediately jump to level 4. Amazing. Which is good in many, many ways. We now have the initiative against those Navy ships. And now we get to keep 2 cards from Calico Jack. Actually, we are gaining 1 of those, and we are gaining a treasure card. These treasure cards are simply amazing. Let's start with this first. So we are drawing this. And these cards are one-time use, but you can keep them in front of you or beside your playboard, and you can use them whenever you see fit. And here we found the cast iron muzzle-loader cannons. Ooh, we get the initiative against a treasure fleet and 10 broadside. That is amazing. Let me quickly check. Is there, or do we get to draw 2 cards for these treasure cards and then choose 1? Yes, indeed we do. And that's something I do like, getting some choices. So let's draw a second. This is an amazing card, don't get me wrong. And here we have the King's Stern Chasers. Plus 10 broadside, plus a pirate ship joins your fleet for this turn, discarded after use. That is also quite nice. The question is, the treasure fleet is almost gone, so I'm not sure if we want to do that. I think I will go for the King's Stern Chasers, because then we can basically get a pirate ship and I can use their combat stats. Basically, it's simply like the allies that you have in Mage Knight, or very similar to that, but this one is a one-time use only, but could still make or break our combat here. Nice. But of course, we are not done yet. I think I will also go for this reward now. So we get to draw 4 cards and keep 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, this might take me a while. Where do I place them? Let's do place them here. I think you should be able to see. I'm just checking my little monitor. Yes, indeed. Okay, we get to hold on to 2 of those. I mean, that is great because 2 and 2 is nice. Cut him to pieces is nice. This gives us movement plus close quarter for everything. That's also not terrible, actually. This is, yeah, that's also great. Helps us in so many different ways. But I think this one is super strong. Let's hold on to this. It goes on top of our pirate deck. That's the cool part. And for the second, I think I will go for the final because it also gives us this draw here. No, I think that's a no-brainer too. So those 2 cards go back to the bottom. I believe, or we put them basically on top of her deck, actually. It doesn't matter too much because whenever we are getting cards, she is getting cards. Then we are also getting another elite card. And we are allowed to keep 2 elite cards. Typically, let's say this would be down here, then this would mean my elite card maximum is only 1. I have 1 elite card here. We have played it this turn. So if I want to hold on to this, I would then take the elite card and place it somewhere, whatever, shove it under my board, and then I could start using it once we have upgraded it. Alternatively, what I could also do, if I would be now over my elite card limit, my command limit here, I could decide to basically remove this elite card from the game and take another one instead and put it onto my deck. That is always allowed. So this way I get another card and put it on top of my deck. In this case, because it's the final round, I'm not going to use that card ever again, most likely. But again, as I'm not over my command limit here, I will simply choose an elite card. The hail shot is nice, but this one is nicer actually. The Hornswoggle, that gives me a lot of flexibility actually. Yeah, let's go for this one. Also, it goes on top of the deck. We are immediately revealing a new one. Sea Shanties, and 1 card also goes on top of Mary Reed's deck. So we might have bought us some time here by adding 3 more cards. I don't think she gets the treasure card because it doesn't really help her. At least that's what I think. But yeah, that was pretty nice. As I said, we are gaining more cards, so she's gaining more cards. So we are slowing down the game a little bit. Yeah, I like that. But okay, let's do some cleanup here. They are simply discarded. This card is also discarded, and I do think, oh, wait a second, one thing, we will place 1 of these tokens in here, so we could do stuff here, actually. In Guadeloupe, not sure, actually, if I want to do anything there. I could, again, both. Oh, I could, actually, no, I could. What I could do now, actually, of course, because I had the 3 tokens, actually, I could now declare infamy at a location with a pirate marker that's mine, generate infamy points by discarding defeated enemy tokens, and I believe they will both, no, 1 goes to, yeah, that's the 1 piece. I really need to fish out 1 piece. 1 goes to the enemies of the Pirate Republic, but only 1. And then we can buy another elite card for 3 infamy points. And again, now we can go, as I just told you, we can basically remove this elite card to get another elite card, 1 of that. I think let's absolutely do that. So we are discarding our tokens here. We are removing this card now basically from the game. I still think we are adding another card to Mary Reed this way, even though we are not increasing. No, let's not cheat here. We are not increasing our hand size. So we are also, or our hand, so we are also our deck. We are not doing this for either. This basically goes back to the bottom of the deck, and then we get to choose 1 other. But I believe things are really clear. I will go for this one here, the Sea Shanties. Nice, and then I simply have to place 1 merchant token here, there. I don't really know if it was this, but this seems familiar. It doesn't matter too much in the end. But right now we are not spawning any ships here anyway. Nice, really nice turn. And I think then I will call for the end of the turn. There's really nothing I want to do right now. So let's reset our thing. We are at 5 because we had the +2. We are drawing 3 more cards. Yeah, of course, I think we shouldn't be too surprised. We're drawing an awful lot of elite cards now. And 1 card we just gained from Calico Jack, actually. Then let's move back to Mary Reed. We are drawing up to her hand size. Her deck is not empty, so we simply keep rolling. That's 2 cards that she's playing. That's not too terrible, actually. So I think we can manage. So she's moving a little bit slower again, which I do appreciate, of course. And then we also have to roll for us. So let's quickly do that. And over here we have some more room for the dice tower. And okay, that could be it, because that's a white lookout, and we do have our little personal mission here. Win combat initiated by the white lookout die. Okay, I think I'm not going to re-roll that. I think we have a good amount of hand. We are drawing our token. And yeah, we are revealing this together, of course. We could run away if that really truthfully awful. We can still do that, but let's see. And no, it's a standard pirate. We are super lucky again. So, wow, that's 5 plus 2. That could be 7 swagger in total. And we are not drawing any combat modifier cards. Okay, that is huge. I'm not saying this might win me the game, but it's bringing me much closer to where we need to be. Awesome. We do have the initiative, so we can either come up with, what is it, 5 strike fear? Maybe not, or simply 6 broadside. Okay, he could be 2 broadside, actually, 3 broadside. Yeah, that's not great, actually, but here we have 3. Maybe that is better to do this here instead. Because otherwise, I think I need to play 1, 2, or 3 cards. That's not too terrible. These are all cool cards in the end. And those tokens, I don't think they help us too much right now. Yes, I could use them for rerolls. But in the end, I think we are going with the strike fear option again. So we are playing this card, this elite card. So this goes down here. We are powering this. This is something, again, if we would have a crew card now, we could power this elite card, or the bottom effect of the elite card, with the crew card that we still have in front of us. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So we have 3 strike fear here, and then we need 2 more, 1 and 2. So that's that. We have successfully defeated this pirate over here. So let's do things in order. Doesn't matter too much. So we have now successfully done this personal mission. Win combat initiated by the white lookout die. So this gives us 2 of these tokens back. That's already nice. That's 2 swagger, that's 5 swagger, so 7 swagger in total. That wasn't terrible at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 46. Of course, if we are now getting captured, we are losing all those points, but we need to make it to 60 in order. So basically 14 more victory points in order to make it. And keep in mind, we have lost, I believe, 8 points last turn, or last round actually. So yeah, I think without that being captured, I would say we might have been able to make it. Now to come up with 14 more points. I mean, we have a lot of cards still, but yeah, I don't know. But okay, let's do some clean up here. This token goes back into the bag. It's not bad, actually, really nice. This token we have spent. This card has been played, and in theory we can exchange it again if we are gaining another elite card. But yeah, I don't complain about it. The Daring Venture, I believe it simply also goes to the bottom of the deck, and the personal mission deck is really huge. So really a lot to do, actually. And that was not really our turn. I mean, yes, it was part of our turn, but we still have our full 5 movements. We still have 4 cards in our hand. So there is still stuff we can do. As we are now in level 4, we do have the initiative against Navy ships. There is one right next to us in the end. So, of course, they have a combat modifier. This could really change everything. But with a strike fear, we might be able... okay, that would cost us basically all our points. Maybe, maybe I'm not willing to do that. I could consider a crew combat now, just to show this to your company combat, sorry. But yeah, again, would have our reward, the swagger basically. It's 3 points, but I take the 3.6 would be much nicer. Again, we need to make it to 14 somehow before the round is over, and we cannot be defeated. So maybe we can also debate if we simply want to take on some smaller ships, for example. What does this slave ship here actually? It's 8 swagger 2, but also an 8. Oof, that is tough. When we still have, I mean, we still have this one, the King's Stern Chasers. So we really could take on a relatively strong ship. The thing now is, if I move in here, we have to defeat them both, right? Basically, that's a 2-token combat. I'm not sure if we are ready for that. Not with a slaver and a standard ship. That's the main problem. So what we could do instead, what is, I think the slaver is definitely 8 points worth of 6 points. So what we could do instead, and maybe that's what we should do. Let's spend 2 movement point to move into the sea zone of Tortuga. So now we had 3 movement points left, and then we could, in theory, either reveal another land token or go for this. I would say let's spend one of those in order to scout, and we are revealing this. Okay, that's a really super easy merchant. But one thing I just noticed, okay, that was stupid actually, because these slavers are not aggressive tokens. These are neutral passive tokens or whatever they're referred to. They're not automatically attacking us. So we could have whatever revealed this and then still could decide later on. So we are not automatically fighting basically both of them at the same time. Okay, that's basically on me. I get to decide if I want. That was really stupid. Anyway, I think it's not the end of the round. I do think we still have a lot of time left actually. So maybe we do want to actually fight that sucker down here, and we can relatively easily get rid of him. So let's spend 1 more movement point like this. And in theory, if you would have 1 more movement point left, I don't think can you voluntarily give up the initiative? That would be interesting, actually. Is that something that you can do? Anyway, I won't do it. I will simply spend 1 more now to go for the strike fear option in this case. So we have taken, we're getting this token right back anyway. So that is that. We had the initiative. We are gaining 2 more swagger. So now we're at 48. And this token, unfortunately, again goes into the enemies of the Pirate Republic. So we are spawning yet an additional ship. These 2 go back into the bag. Let's see where this token goes. And again, it's a good one. It goes into the sea zone of Guadeloupe. And I think if they would spawn with us, I think I would have to fight them right away. I'm relatively certain we would have been able to defeat at least a normal Navy ship at this point in time, especially because we still had some movement points and cards left and whatnot. We still have 2 movement points actually, but unfortunately that's not enough to reveal this one here. We could spend another token to reveal that. Basically, maybe that's what we do want to do. Yeah, let's spend 1 of those tokens again. It's still my turn. I mean, I can take any amount of actions. And that's a relatively strong pirate here. I could definitely try to defeat them. I think I should have enough. Here it's getting a little bit for the strike fear. We really played it big. We're down to 3 of those tokens only, unfortunately. So it's not an endless supply of these reputation tokens, but we still have 2 more movement points, which we can't really use at this point in time. That's a little bit disappointing actually. And honestly, I always have the King's Stern Chasers, right? This really gives me all the things I need to take on this slave ship down here. Again, I don't need to take it on right now. It's not a hostile ship or an aggressive ship or whatever the term is. Again, the risk is always that something bad is happening. And I believe we have seen now 2 or 3 good tiding cards. So probabilities are actually quite high that we are not going to make it. On the other hand, I could really now decide, let's go for the crew combat. And I think that's what we want to. I mean, we want to make progress, right? So we are spending 1 more to move in here. Before we are now initiating combat, I say we are going for the crew combat, the company combat. So we are simply taking the top card of Jack Calico stack and basically using it for this combat. But this way, I think we are halving both of these things. So we're only getting 2 swagger. If we win, of course, that's still something that we have to do. And that is not terrible. 2 and 2, that's pretty great. We have a strike fear as well, but I still don't think it's something we can do. And I believe now, only now are we going to draw the tidings card. I think again, the company combat is something that you have to declare at the first step of the combat. And then when combat starts, we are doing all the other shenanigans. So let's draw our okay. And again, it's 1 on our side. So we get another +2 and a +2. So we have 4 broadside here alone. Yeah, that's That's good. So I think we should be able to make something of this, right? Yeah, we have good cards in our hand. So what do we need? We have 4, 6. Do I want to spend? I believe I can still spend tokens on this card here as well if I so desire. We would gain it back because this way I'm only playing 1 extra card, I believe. So that's then 6 we have here. Let's do that. So we are spending this token. So that's now 6 broadside. Again, we do have the initiative against those pirates. 6, so we need to come up with 2 more. And I honestly do think I am going to play this card, slightly overpaying in this case, but I still think it's worth it actually. So yeah, we have successfully defeated this pesky pirate here. So we are gaining this token back, so we haven't lost it. That's at least something. And again, we are only having it because again, this was company combat, and then we are only gaining 2 swagger, bringing us to 50 points. So we now need still 10 more points in order to make it this round. Wow. Again, I do hope that this was legal, because again, there is a token here, but it's not an aggressive token, which we have to fight immediately, right? I think we get a choice if we want to fight them or not. That's the idea of that. So, but this token goes back. This was the company combat. So yeah, this goes back to Calico Jack on the bottom of his deck. We have played this card here, of course. The tidings card goes with really a lot to clean up, but I think one thing we still need to do, and that's a good thing, we have successfully won company combat. Nicely done. So we are gaining 1 more upgrade, and I think we are going for this one. More movement is always nice. Cool stuff. Let's do the reset. We still had 1 more movement point left, but I don't think I'm going to use it. No, we are going to 6 now, actually. Very nice. We are drawing 2 more cards, but now we have done company combat. We can't do it again, unfortunately. But I believe those are not bad cards. And again, we have our joker here, the 10, which of course is super huge. Let's do Mary Reed's turn. Again, I'm really hoping I'm not messing things up here. So 2 more cards. We are rolling her die. Let's see. Of course, those guys had to move away. So now we are at level 4, right? Yes, so we have to play 4 cards. So that's part of the variant rules. Keep that in mind, equal to my level. So 4 cards she did play now. So that definitely sped things up. But in this case, this also means that all of these fellows will move away. So the treasure fleet almost gone. We have another slave ship here on the route, but that's that. And I really do like the mechanic with this treasure fleet, quite honestly, and these slave ships actually. But yeah, let's roll for us, of course. So that's our roll. It's really important now. And yeah, of course, it had to happen. So we're gaining a reputation token. That's never a bad thing. These guys are moving in. I did leave a quiz during the last episode. Not sure. I think I did my internal counting now. I really have to point at what I believe. Yeah, this treasure fleet, they're gone. Okay, wow, that is something. I've never seen this before, but I didn't play it all that often. But these guys are also moving. We can still reach them. That is fine. I think, yeah, with 2 movement points. But then we have to spend 2 movement points, right? And we don't have the initiative against those guys. So every movement point does count now. Losing these 2 movement points now in order to get them to them, that was definitely a problem, actually. And now I'm not so sure if we can pull that off, right? I mean, we need it. And they don't have a combat modifier. Okay, so there are no surprises there. But again, I'm relatively certain that the next combat modifier card we are drawing is terrible. I don't know the distribution, if they are 50% good or 50% bad, or if there are maybe I should have done that actually to learn the game, and maybe I will do that in preparation for my next whatever when I play this game next time. But yeah, what am I going to do? I don't think we can pull it off. We do come up with a lot of, we can come up with a lot of close quarters actually. So there is a good chance, but we still need, I can't do that. Again, these guys have a broadside of 12. So in order not to get defeated right away, we need to come up with 6 movement points simply to make it to the next stage of combat, the close quarters. And then we are adding the 6 on top of the close quarters. So then we would be fighting 15 close quarters. I mean, these 8 points, they don't simply, and I think, yeah, the next step, this ship is gone. Oh boy, if it's moving again. No, I think the next 2 steps. I think it's 1 and 2. I believe that's how it works, right? It's still here in Port Royal, but there's another token, right, which we have to fight first. If we would ever have needed movement, now would have been the time, actually. And again, we are losing 2 movement points down here. Then we are down to 4, and there is 0 movement points in our hand right now. And I think the most we can get through this is maybe 1 or 2 movement points through an extra card. So I don't think we are going to make that. So maybe it's time to get this French ship up here, actually, because that's 6 swagger. Not entirely different. It's 2 less points than the slave ship. Slave ship would also give us an accomplishment, of course, but I still think that this might be the better deal. It also doesn't have a combat modifier. We do have the initiative. I think we could defeat them relatively easily, actually. No, absolutely. We can. It's costly, so we are playing a lot of cards, but then again, it's 6 points. No, I think that's what we need to do. So we are spending 2 movement points to move 1 and 2 spaces up. So we are not making any friends with the French in this case. And I believe those ships don't go back, or do they go to the bottom of the enemy? It doesn't matter too much. They're not spawning anything new, of course. So we do have the initiative because again, we are here on level 4. We could try the strike fear again. What costs less? That's the point. I mean, we have good cards in our hand that give us strike fear, and with 2 tokens, and I think that's even better, actually. We're only playing 2 cards this way. Let's do that. So we are playing the Not So Pirates Folly. We are powering this with 1 of those, so that's 3 strike fear, and then we are doing the same down here and placing this here. This is the 5 strike fear. Again, we do have the initiative and we only needed 5 to basically scare them away. Nice. 1 of those we are getting back. That could be super important, and then we are gaining 6 swagger, moving us to 56 points down here. So if we would have, or if we wouldn't have lost last round, basically these 8 points, we would already at level 5 right away. We would gain all sorts of bonuses. I mean, look at this awesomeness. 2 more level ups, basically a crew card, an elite card, 6 more reputation points, and we would gain initiative against slavers and those pesky forts. But yeah, I don't think we can pull that off. I mean, it's still okay. We might make it. And again, I still hope I haven't messed anything up. But honestly, I do feel okay. I do feel okay. And for a game like this, I'm pretty proud of myself. I mean, I'm absolutely sure there will be 1 or 2 things that you will spot, but I will take it. So let's do some cleanups. These cards have been played. That's good. Only played 2 cards now. This token goes to the bottom of the stack. I believe it goes to the stack that has the fewest tokens right now. And then we still had 4 more movement points. So there is still stuff we could do. In theory, we could even try to get up. This would bring us to level 5 right away, if we would be successful here. Was there something I missed, actually? No, I don't think so. So we could try that, actually. And there is also this pirate hunter over here. But again, we don't know. We don't have the initiative against pirate hunters. So these cannons wouldn't help us in this case, other than maybe getting the pirate ship here. We can't go through company combat again. Of course, we could simply say, let's move 1 space over here and simply reveal this Spanish city of St. Augustine, and maybe do something with that. But then again, down here is exactly what we need, but it comes with a surprise. So that's maybe also a problem, and I don't think we can. Yeah, we could defeat them with our cards, actually. And worst things could be, I think worst thing would be actually that we would have to use our King's Stern chasers, unless they are getting the initiative. And then I think we are dead. And then we are losing basically all those points. So I think that is too risky for me right now. No, I want control. So we are spending 1 movement point. Oh, we could also do that right here, actually. Does it matter? Let's move in here. Let's move into St. Augustine. Then we are spending the 3 remaining movement points we had to reveal or scout for another token. token here, and that's that's also nice. It doesn't come with any surprises. So in theory, we could try to take this one on, and this one is a straight victory, I believe. But again, I don't feel the rush. Of course, terrible things could happen now, but again, I'm not, I don't feeling rushed right now. Again, we would be losing basically all 3 of our reputation tokens. No, and I don't want them. I needed some rerolls. If you would gain 1 more from this, then maybe yes, but no, in this case, let's end our turn. And really, this game is so much fun. Let's review. We have still an awful lot of cards in our deck, actually. Let's see. Okay, these are not super amazing, actually. No, really not. Maybe we could go for this one here to get a card back, but no, this doesn't help us. And we could generate 1 reputation. We could draw a card. No, I think overall it's not too terrible, but it's not great. Let's put it like this. And then we are moving back to Mary Reed. So let's draw her cards. 4, 4, and 5. And then, yeah, let's roll her die. Okay, now we have some space here because the slaver has moved. Where is my die now? Okay, it's right behind the dice tower. And that's 3 cards, I believe. Yes, indeed. That's 3 cards. Oh, she is definitely rushing things. But yeah, I think right now there is still time. I think we still get at least 2, 3 more turns out of this. Cool. Then it's us. We also have to roll that sucker. And we are 9 movement all together. I really think this die worked really, really well, actually, for us. I really should stop whining about the swinginess of this die, actually. So let's do this. I think we want to get rid of this town here. It's a port, not a fort. It's a town. Let's call it a town. I think that's the better distinction, actually. So we are engaging. We have the initiative. We have that initiative since we are on level 3. So that's fine. I will start by playing this card here, Fire in the Hole, and we will power it with 1 of those tokens because I need the broadside and I want to draw another card. I think that's the deal. And that is that. Okay, not terrible, not terrible. So we have 3 broadside. We need 5 more. And I think we can actually directly play this now. We also have to power it with 1 of those. So that's now 6. And then we need 2 more. And yeah, it's a little bit of a waste, but I think we are going to play this one here. So that's the 2 more we needed. So we have basically completely sacked St. Augustine. This goes on top of here. I believe we are first of all gaining this. We are also gaining the victory points, which was 5. So I believe we did make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe whatever happens now, we can't lose this game because you can never drop below your current level. You will always, I believe, default back on the first spot in here because everything else, the next stage is at 87, like level 6 basically. So that's 16 more points, 26 more points, sorry. So that's really out of the question for this playthrough. But then again, we are playing a short scenario in this case. Wow, that was really cool, actually. I take it. Of course, we are gaining all of those things. So we are gaining 2 more bumps, which is cool. We are gaining a crew card, which we unfortunately can't hold right now, unless we can take 1 of those. We're gaining another lead card and we are gaining the 6th token. Let's start with the easy one. We are gaining 6 of these reputation tokens and we desperately needed those. That is cool. Then let's do the 2 bumps here. 1 will be this for sure. And I think 1 will be this, which means we are now gaining a merchant ship basically as part of our escort fleet. We can use it typically for movement or some attack points, I believe. That is that. And +2 movement, I believe. Yeah, that's what this one brings. This merchant ship gives us +2 movement when we don't have the initiative. Exactly. That's what it is. That's what this means. That's what this ship really does. That is super huge, I believe. Getting 2 extra movement. I mean, look at this. We still had 9 movement points. We Didn't have to do any movement whatsoever. That is so cool. But of course, we are still gaining cards like crazy. I think we may have to get rid of one of our elite cards here. It doesn't really matter because, so let's simply get rid of this elite card. Because again, we are gaining another elite card right now, and we are gaining another crew card. And I believe for the crew card, we are going with Shelvock's Mutineers. Let's put this on top of our deck, but this also means she's getting an extra card on her deck. But I believe we have won the game basically at this point in time. And we are revealing a new crew card, and then we are also gaining another elite card here. Hailshot is nice. Struck Sails is also nice. Let's go for the Struck Sails in this case. And again, we are also adding one card to her. We are revealing a new card here. Okay, that is that. And I believe that's basically our level up done. Cool. But what do we do next? We still have these three cards. We have our card here, and we have 9 movement points in total. Are you kidding me? In theory, we could go after this pirate because we now do have enough reputation tokens to strike fear. Of course, there is that. But again, as I said, there is no real risk now, because even if we would lose, yes, it would end our turn and everything. Yeah, we would lose our movement points. So maybe we can do things a little bit more clever. So let's move 1 and 2 spaces over here. Then we are spending 3 more movement points to reveal this token, the Port of Tortuga, and it's also, I would really love to find another fort, because then I could go for the accomplishment. And again, getting 8 accomplishments could be quite nice, because then we would gain the initiative against 2 tokens. So far we haven't seen 2 tokens in a row actually, but we also didn't do a respawn. Respawning only happens when there are 5 or less aggressive tokens on the board at the end of a round. But again, with solo, again, maybe I'm playing too slow or so, I don't know, but so far I still see at least, I don't know, maybe 12 to 15 tokens still on the board. Again, I believe pirate hunters, slavers, and treasure ships, they do not count, but there's still a lot of other unexplored tokens on the board. So now we still have some points here, movement points here, 4 actually, so we could relatively easily, for example, move in here, fight them, and then maybe even reveal this or reveal that for the next turn to come. So we are moving 1 space in here. We have to fight them. I can't go for the company combat. I have to draw a tidings card, and again, it's 1 in our favor. We would gain the initiative against whatever it is. Even if you would go after the strongest ships whatsoever, even against a pirate hunter, we would now gain the initiative, because these tidings cards are basically the super tiebreak. I think only the global mission card beats the tidings card. Okay, helping hand, yeah, makes perfect sense. So yes, we can absolutely kill them. I think actually before I play 4 of tokens, I will play Blackbeard Smoke again to draw a card, because we still have an awful lot of cards in our hand, and that's stupid me. I mean, I should have known what's on top of the cards. That's really bad. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt, but I wasted this card here, of course. Yeah, that was really stupid. I placed these cards there myself. Okay, but I made my bet, so I will not take it back. Then let's strike fear. And we do have the initiative. I don't think we can come up. We could, in fact, almost get to 8 broadside, but let's not do it. Again, what we can always do, we can always halve and then say we go for the close quarters, but even that, we would gain one of these bloodshed tokens, which we haven't seen. Maybe I should show you one. So these are those bloodshed tokens. So whenever you take half the damage, basically, through the first stage, you're gaining one of those, and then you're getting the second one. You're automatically captured. You can get rid of that by resting, but we didn't have to rest even. And one thing I forgot, of course, I should have drawn a token from the bag, not a treasure ship. What am I talking about? A merchant ship here. But let's do this here first. So let's draw a token. So we are now drawing tokens until we do find. Yeah, here is a merchant ship actually already. So that's our merchant ship, a very weak one, but yeah, we will take it for sure. So we can use it. We didn't need it right now, but it's cool to have it. So we were able to defeat this pirate. We're gaining 2 of these tokens back. So again, we have struck fear and we are gaining 4 more swagger. I mean, again, we could lose those, but I mean, yeah, we still want to explore the Caribbean, right? That's the idea. And yeah, we can even keep this token, right? I mean, that's cool because it has a combat modifier on it. Oh, did I forget? Stupid me, we should have spawned one of those pirate hunters here. Okay, that wasn't great, actually. Sorry for that. Let's see where it goes. Hopefully, Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo. So this goes to Santo Domingo, which is actually down here. Let's see. Oop. Let's pan down. So I think we were okay. We were here actually also when we have... Which city did we take? Did not take Santo Domingo. Where did we go from? From here. No, we were up here, exactly. We were St. Augustine, so we did not move through that. Okay, okay, good that I caught it, so no harm was done. So maybe that's also a possibility to say we want to take on one pirate hunter. Depends now a little bit on how many. I don't really know how much movement points you get. That's the question, right? But still, we had now 3 more movement points. So let's use those movement points to scout Santiago in this case. And that's another town, unfortunately. We still have 1 more of those tokens left. And I believe that's all that we can get. We can move other things around. And I don't want to go for another personal mission, of course, because we might be losing points if we're not completing this. And as you have seen, some of them are a little bit situational, have to hope for a die roll and whatnot. So I think that's why let's not do that. But I believe I'm calling the end of the turn here. Again, so many moving pieces. I really hope I haven't messed this up. Let's draw 2 more cards. Yeah, these were those. And ooh, okay. Yeah, now we do have some cool crew. And again, the crew is sticking around for the entirety of the turn, actually. So we could really do some nice damage with them. And they both have basically 3 close quarters, which we could use against a pirate hunter. Let's do Mary Reed's turn. She's drawing 3 cards. We are rolling that die, of course. And that's another 3 cards she's actually playing. How many cards does she still have? Okay, definitely. I think we get 3 more turns. At least. Yeah, no, I think that's minimum 3 more turns, because only when her deck is empty. Yeah, I don't really know if we need 3 more turns, but let's see about that. Of course, we have to roll our die here, and ooh, we get a treasure fleet. We're gaining 1 of these tokens. I mean, that's really always the nice part. We are spawning another treasure fleet down here in Cartagena. Now they're now protected by these. If they would move 1 step further, so these guys, they're moving now close to Port Royal. I believe only when they move off are we doing this. And then the other slaver is basically moving a little bit closer to the Caribbean, but I'm relatively certain he might not make it. Okay, but we don't get any extra movement points. That might be a case against taking on one of these pirate hunters. Okay, I think I want to spend 3 movement points to scout this token here. Okay, that's a measly merchant. So I think we might be actually able to kill the slaver now, and I want to do that. So we are spending 1 more movement point to move in here. We are fighting this guy. We need 1 strike fear, basically. There is no surprise. I will simply spend this token here. So this merchant is gone. Okay, this gives us this token actually back and 2 more victory points. So we're at 67. Not terrible. And then I think we still have more than enough fighting power. We have the initiative on level 5 against slave ships. So we need to come up with 12 broadside. And honestly, let's go for it. Let's spend our card here. 10 plus 1 pirate ship joins our fleet. So we're drawing now tokens. Okay, that's the pirate shit that we have drawn, and we have really drawn a super strong. We don't even need to use our pirate ship, so we have 17 broadside basically with the initiative against that slaver. So wow, dusted him to pieces. And then yeah, 8 more points. Okay, that the 8 points of course are huge. So we're at 75 swagger in total. I can't believe that. I almost feel like I'm missing something here. I really do think I'm missing something here. But anyway, yeah, this token was our random token, which gets resolved. This discard was a one-time use, super strong as you can see, but this slaver is also gone. So this goes on top of, or on the bottom of the deck, and I believe we are immediately spawning one of those tokens. Actually, one navy ship, and this navy ship goes to Wida, and I think that's somewhere in Africa, of course. So I think we might not need to bother with that. Oof, okay. Wow, so this is gone before they managed. So we, of course, absolutely freed those poor souls on this ship, and this was sunk. Wow, okay, before they made it to Port Royal. That's cool. And we still had 2 more movement points, and we haven't used any one of our cards right now. The problem is with 2 movement points, I think in this case, does it matter? I mean, we could... Let's spend 1 more here to reveal this token. Okay, that's a Danish ship. Can we defeat the Danish ship now? Okay, one thing, of course, let's not forget. I'm getting ahead of myself. We have rescued a slave ship here, so we are gaining another update. Oof, does it matter? I don't know, actually, if it would matter. I think let's simply upgrade this for now. Yeah. Anyway, we could still go for this one down here. We would have the firepower, I believe. We need 8, right? It will cost us. We could use our ship token, of course. We have our it's a very weak merchant that we have drawn, but that provides with 2 extra broadside here. And again, this is a nice one. The question is, do we think we can take on one of these treasure ships down here? Let's spend 1 more movement point to move down here into this. We are taking on the Danish ship. Let's zoom out a little bit. Somehow I really feel I'm missing something here. Anyway, so we are playing this card, powering it here. So we have the initiative, of course. Again, there's no surprise. So we have 3 broadside here. Let's spend this token. That's 5 broadside here, and then we need 3 more. So we're going with the crew, 1 and then 2 more, and I think the 2 more will be the struck sails. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't continue use those sailors because I'm most likely not going to fight again. But anyway, I take it. So we are gaining this token back. We are gaining 5 more swagger, so now we're at 80 points. 87 is level 6, actually. You see that down here. This simply goes, I think, under this stack. And these cards, or this token, will simply flip over. We have used it. I think when we are resting, we might get it back, actually. Something to consider, but those cards have been played. We still have 1 more movement point, but I don't think it's actually worth it to spend it right now, because we can stay here or we can go anywhere else. It doesn't really matter, unless we say we want to take on Port Royal next, and every movement point counts, of course, but it doesn't really matter. So let's reset. We are going to 6. We are drawing 3 more cards, and then honestly 1, 2 and 3. There's not an awful lot we can do, actually. At least I think. But yeah, I really like that. I mean, it's really pretty great. And if we would have, if we wouldn't have been defeated, then yeah, we would already be at level 6. And yeah, this video is definitely somewhat longer. So we're drawing 3 more cards for her. We didn't upgrade no, only with level 6 are we upgrading to 6 cards, actually. So she's at 5 exactly. Then we are rolling. She has 2 more cards left. So yeah, I think I think whatever we do, again, she's playing 3 cards. Then she will draw up, then she will play her card. So we definitely get this turn, then at least 1 more turn, right? If I counted that correctly. But let's roll the die for us too. Let's see, we might really make it to level 6, actually. And okay, that's a white lookout. I don't have a problem with a white lookout at this point in time, actually. So I'm not going to re-roll that. So we are drawing a token. Of course, they could still be pretty bad. I mean, a 12 is also already pretty challenging, of course. So this is our token, and yeah, no. I mean, they have this token here, so I'm not running away, of course, unless I want to whatever save my resources for something stronger, right? I mean, I could still say we are going after this. I mean, but that's 3 points. Super easy prey, actually. Let's fight them, absolutely. So we have to draw a tidings card. This could again make or break, and it does. So we can either now, okay, that's one of those. I believe we can take a bloodshed token or we lose one. No, let's lose one. We don't want a bloodshed token, of course. So that wasn't too terrible. And then we can come up with 4 strike fear. So I think Grog before the fog. We are playing the red jolly in this case. That's 4. We have sacked this guy. So we are getting 2 of those tokens back. Nice. And we are gaining 3 more swagger, moving us to 83 points already. But again, we have played 2 cards. So that will definitely somewhat slow us down. But this token, yeah, this will also spawn another Navy ship. This time I will not forget. This Navy ship comes from here. So it's that, and we have to draw a card, and it's Maracaibo. Maracaibo again, great game. Oh, now we have the first one actually where we do have 2 tokens in there. 2 hostile tokens or aggressive tokens. Interesting, but we can't get the initiative against both of them right now. No, we don't have the 8 tokens here. We are at 5. So what do? I think we are spending 3 movement point to scout this one. Okay, that's a pirate. Okay, I think, yeah, you can see that here. That's a pirate over here, which we can relatively, can we? And not with our broadside. We have 3, 5, 6 only. But I think we can also, yeah, we can defeat him with strike fear. So we are spending 1 more to go in here. We are initiating combat. We will strike fear. So we are playing the blow the man down, powering up with that. That's 3, spending 1 more. That's the 4 we needed. We get 1 of those tokens back, and we are gaining 4 swagger, which in fact moved us down to 87 points. Wow. I'm not sure. I don't know what to say here, actually. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm almost certain I'm messing something up. I really don't know. But yeah, this token is gone. It's simply going back into the bag. Let's have a quick look at our reward. So we are increasing our hand size now. We are gaining 6 more tokens, 6 more reputation tokens. Very cool. We do have now initiative against basically everyone, I believe, at this point in time. And yeah, for company combat, I believe we can draw now 2 cards, which of course is huge, but we have already used our company combat this round. Is there anything else that's happening? I have to check that. And indeed, there is. But that's also only in respect to the lookout tidings die result. We are now spawning 2 enemy tokens instead of 1. So we might want to reroll that, and we have again over 10 tokens now, I believe. So we should be okay. We have 2 more movement and only very measly cards. So I don't think we are going anything too meaningful right now. So we might be spending the remaining 2 movement points to move here into Tortuga, and maybe we want to sack Tortuga with our pretty much last real turn. That's insane. So we are drawing our remaining 2 cards actually, so we don't even can come to our hand size of 6. We get our 6 movement here. Maybe we want to rest or so, because resting could in fact then help us somewhat getting this token back. Let's see. Her hand size would be now also at 6, but again, it doesn't matter what we roll now. We are still rolling it because of the treasure. So she's basically playing all 4 of her cards. So with the next turn, she will then call for now we get 2 more turns. Actually, I don't think that we need the last turn of the game. At least I think. But of course, this all now depends on the die roll here. So, okay, that's a +3 again. So we are at 9 movement. So this might change things a little bit, actually. So let's move 1 step over here. Let's remove that die, actually. Then let's spend 3 tokens, or should we? Yeah, let's spend 3 tokens, actually, to scout San Juan here. And it's also only a city. Oof. That's 6 swagger opposed to whatever thing. But this comes with this token here. But again, we can't lose our level right now anymore. So whatever happens, we can't really lose it. So maybe we want to rather go in there. Can we come up with 8 broadside? Possibly. Yeah, I think so actually. So yeah, let's move in. We are drawing a card here first, and okay, that's something. Oh, that's bad. It might be a crunchy final combat of the game actually. So it's basically a +2 and a +2. They have 10. I don't know if we can. No, I don't think we can come to 10 now actually. The last combat of the game. Yes, we have card draws like crazy, but we don't. Gosh. Yeah, this is bad. We might need to run away, actually. So again, we still have the initiative. No, I think we need 9 tokens here, right? 9 strike fear. We have that. We actually have that. So let's play this card. This gives us 1. So here's our first strike. Again, the initiative didn't change. So we need 8 more. 1, 2, we're at 3. We're at 6. We are at 9. Not a problem. We still had 4 more left. So even that didn't help them. So we're gaining 1 back and we're gaining 6 more points, bringing us to 93. Wow, this is insane. This is really insane. I think we don't even spawn a new pirate hunter. So it's already gone. This card has been played. We are getting rid of this card, and then we still have an awful lot of movement points left. Basically 5, but yeah, our cards. The maximum we can come up with actually is, I believe, 8 broadside. So we may want to simply stop here now actually. Yeah, let's do that. So we are more or less only moving, I don't know, let's spend 3 movement points to explore this, and then 2 more movement points to move. Yeah, 1 movement point to move in here. I don't want to take any more risks now. I think we can relatively easily sack those guys and then the game might be over. So let's reset one last time. We are not drawing any more cards, unfortunately. So unlike a normal deck builder, you're not simply reshuffling your discard pile. That's the name of the game here. Mary Reed is out of cards, so I don't even know if she is. I think she's not even rolling that die then with that new rules. Let me check. No, does not take a turn, exact. So she's not rolling that die. Now maybe I did that incorrectly. So she's only calling for the end of the game, basically, end of the round, and that's end of the game. So over to us. And one thing I didn't think about, we are down to 5 reputation, which is huge. But in order to re-roll that tidings die, we needed 6, right? 6 reputation. And I think there's nothing we can do. Let's see. But no, we are okay. So we are simply losing 1 movement point. Here is the red lookout, actually. Wow, that would have been awful. And then, yeah, I think let's simply go in here. It doesn't matter too much. Could matter. Maybe let's see. So we are taking those guys on. Do we want the strike fear? I think it doesn't really matter too much, actually. So we are playing the improvised job. We can't draw a card, unfortunately. We are playing the Shell Shock's Mutineers, which will stay around, which is good. Maybe this will somewhat help us. We need 2 more. Okay, then this is enough, actually. So we need 2 more, though this is this. So that's 6 points. We have sacked it. We get 1 token. So now we have the token. And we are gaining 1, 2, 3 more swagger. But because it's the second land token we are actually placing here, we have to spawn our final pirate hunter. And this could actually be a thing. Port Royal. No, the pirate hunter goes right next to us. Very close call. We have placed our final token in here, and I believe that's the end of the game. Did I get my points? I forgot, actually. I think I got the points, right? I think we are now at 96 points. It doesn't really matter, but wow, what a ride. I'm relatively certain at some point in time I may have missed up. I don't know why I should be at over 90 points right now. And again, if I would have lost that 1 combat, we would be over 100 points now, actually. So I'm not sure what happened here. I felt okay during the last turn of the game. There are a lot of, this is the thing, right? I mean, even though there is a lot of randomness, there's a lot of things that you can try to plan ahead now with this version of the game. Let's call it second edition, which I really do like. And yeah, we were super lucky with that tidings die. I believe, did I have to re-roll? I don't think so, actually. So a lot of times it simply worked in our favor. But again, I may now really declare, I'm relatively certain, even if I would have messed up at some point in time, maybe I wouldn't be at level 6 now, but I'm almost certain I would have made it to over 60 points at this point in time. And I'm really glad that I didn't go for the easy mode with 4 rounds, because then things could have been a little bit boring for the final round of the game. But again, this is the standard mission, standard global mission. There is a whole campaign which we can play. This is, I think, the Kickstarter exclusive for game. I can't quite remember what it was. Exclusive one, or not really. I think it came with the version premium, whatever. And this is the standard global mission. I think 10 or so, which is it branching? I really don't know, actually. I haven't looked at it in detail. So you can really play this game in many different ways in the end. You can even play one global mission out of this, not just playing the campaign, simply to give you some more targets. I think there's a whole stack of enemy tokens in here. 20. I mean, look at this. And basically a whole set of little bit of narrative actually that is going on through these cards. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed my little playthrough here. I really heavily enjoy this game, much more than I did enjoy the original Pirate Prime. Even that was already very fun, actually. But I really do like the tweaks. I also do appreciate that they did update some of the rules already in the meantime, especially in respect when you're passing, that you would, with the original rules, you always had to discard a card if you had something in your hand. Yeah, comparing this to a slow AI, maybe that's the thing. But again, with this new AI rules, I do think that's also works pretty well. So I think overall, I can say really a nice game. It's looking nice, it feels nice, super thematic. It's not overly complicated. Yes, every now and then there are some things that you have to find. The layout of the rules is not always super ideal, but for the most part, you find what you are looking for. Overall, really a great game. Nicely done, Tom. Before I forget, huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members. You guys are really amazing. Can't tell you how much I appreciate all your support. So if you want to support my little channel, check out my page on Patreon. You can join me directly here on YouTube. There is also a thanks button below the video for a small or maybe not so small donation. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. This also greatly helps the channel. I really appreciate that as well. I will launch a giveaway relatively soon for my patrons and channel members in the next couple of days. So if you want to be part of that, maybe you want to check it out and join my crowd there. If not, again, you can support me in many other ways. With that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.